All right, perfect. Good morning, guys. I'm Bryan. Zach and I are going to run this call this morning, habit, skills, and attitude. And guys, the piece we're going to touch on today, I truly feel like is very important to really just see the end picture. Just this is your roadmap to success. And I'm truly not familiar or not certain how many of you guys have seen this before, and if you guys are even familiar with this, but this is our career track here in 2021. So, guys, if you really have a vision, a goal in mind, and have very specific goals, hopefully this is a part of it, because again, this is really your roadmap to success. So, I'm just going to touch on a couple of things. This is very just entry level. But I think it's no secret that anyone that gets hired into this business, obviously we all start out on a 30-in-1 contract. Okay. So I'm going to break down this career track and really what all it means. And if you guys are not all that familiar with this, or if you don't have a copy, or if this is your first time ever seeing this, please reach out to your direct manager and get a copy of this. What I really like about this one is obviously it includes the life portion. So this is pretty new for us here with the life contracts, guys. That only happened, I think, like 2 or 3 months ago, where they really beefed up the life insurance contracts here. So I know there's only a handful of people that are actually life licensed, but I'll share this from firsthand experience, guys. Life insurance is actually pretty easy to sell, especially if you've been here for a while and you go back and just reservice your clients. I know Van's little pitch there is just simply saying, "Hey, how are you doing on life?" And people kind of know, guys. I mean, with life insurance, my experience with it, and Zach might be able to share as well, but I feel like people just kind of know. They know if they want it or not. There's not really as much of an emotional sale or really trying to build a need, because people get it. If you pass away, obviously the life insurance is going to be there to help out your family. So yes, it's emotional, but again, just in my experience, I feel like I haven't really had to build the need up. And my very first life app, guys, believe it or not, it was a previous client of mine, or I guess a current client of mine, and I was just doing a quick reservice, and that policyholder just simply asked me, "Hey, do you do life insurance?" I responded, "Yes, actually I do," with a big smile on my face. It was my very first life app I ever wrote. And she told me that her budget, she's like, "Okay, so I have about $500 that I'm looking to dump into a life insurance policy. So what can you do for me?" And I was like, "Awesome." So I sat down with her, guys. And, when we're on 100% contract, that's huge. So if you guys are not life licensed, that's something that, if you're in your first couple weeks or month, I wouldn't say it's super urgent. But if you've been here for 2, 3, 4 months, you should really start thinking and looking into getting your life insurance license, because that's obviously a huge market that you're missing out on if you don't just have that other tool in your toolbox. So anyways, circling back around to the career track, guys, we all start out on a 30-in-1 contract. So the 30% is obviously the new commission. I think we all know how to calculate that. Let's just say there's an $80 a month policy. You multiply it by 12, then you multiply that by 30%, and then you multiply that by 60%, and that is your advance, right? The 60% is the advance there. So I think we're all familiar with how to actually calculate the commission. But guys, what I want to touch on is obviously the other column right there to the right of it. So there's the new commission, and then there's the renewal commission. So hopefully you guys are all stationary and you can actually see this. But a lot of people forget that there's the other back end 1%, really for at least your first couple months in the business until you reach field director 3. And that renewal commission, guys, it might not seem like a lot, but that 1% is going to pay you for the rest of your life as long as that policyholder stays on the books. So that's huge. That's a big number that, from work that you've done. In my case, I've been here for 6 years. I still have my very first policyholder is actually still on the books with us today. And for the last 6 years, every single month, I've made about $1.75 off that policyholder every single month. So that's obviously the importance of the renewal factor there. But just be familiar with this, guys, and really just know what it takes to get to your next advance. You should have a very clear vision of really what you're actually running for and shooting for in this career. So if you've been here a couple weeks, then you should really have your sights set on that 25,000 NAP lifetime. Obviously, everyone coming out of Sales Academy, the main goal, your main focus is that $10,000 lifetime premium in your first month, because then you earn $1,000 quick start bonus. But very shortly after that, guys, after some people are coming out of Sales Academy and literally doing that in 2 to 3 weeks. So, the next goal is to adjust your goals and really look for the 25,000. Because as soon as you go from, starting out, as soon as you reach that 25,000 level, that's a 5% increase in commissions. So that's huge, guys. And then another 25,000, once you're at the 35%, will get you to 40% contract. So it's just important to understand this stuff. And it's really up to you to kind of determine, what your main focus is. Do you want to come into this business and do you want to just be a sales professional, or are you really looking to build an organization? This really does a good job of just painting that picture, guys, and kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like. There are a handful of people, multiple agents in this business that I've known for a very long time, that's their focus. Like, they sell insurance. They're not really so focused on building an organization, yet they make, over 6 figures, guys. And it's not that challenging. It's not that hard to do in this business. But where the real wealth is obviously by building an organization. So I'm going to kind of switch to that and just look, once you hit your 25,000, you go up 5%. Once you hit 50,000 in lifetime premium, you go up another 5%. So you're at 40. And here's where it really starts, guys. This is your opportunity to take advantage of the shortcut that we have in the business, which is simply training agents to quick start. So if you look right here, once you're at the 40% contract, the shortcut to make it to 45 is simply 1 TQS, okay, lifetime. So what that means, the little chart down here, guys, that's trained to quick start. So if you have an agent and you really want to get involved in building an organization, and you have someone underneath you, then all you have to do, if you personally recruit someone and bring them into this business, all you have to do is help them reach 10,000 in premium in their first month, and you can take a little shortcut there. So instead of having to write $150,000 in premium to make it to 45%, if you're already at a 40%, all you have to do is just train one agent, one personal recruit, or someone that's gifted underneath you, and you can take that shortcut to get another 5% contract. So hopefully this is pretty eye-opening, guys. To be honest with you, this is like probably the first time I've actually ever had to fully explain this in this kind of setting, but I'm hoping you guys are following along here. It's just something that to definitely be familiar with. The little key down here, contract levels 1 through 5 are once earned, always earned. So that's another cool thing about this contract here, is that once you earn a commission, guys, no one can ever take that away from you. So once you reach 35% or 40% or 45%, no one can ever come in and take that away. You're locked in there. Now, the other side of that to kind of be familiar with is that if you do take the leadership path and want to build an organization, you can look at this, and let's just take a field director 3, for example. Let's just say someone on this call is a field director 3, you're at a 40% contract, and you have 1 or 2 agents underneath you that you've personally sourced. You brought them into this business. Well, if you looking at that in a different way, as far as the overrides in this business, let's just say you're a field director 3, you have 2 people underneath you that you just hired them, and they're starting out on a 30% contract. Well, guys, it's good to know that there are overrides in this business. So that agent that's a field director 3, and if you have a couple people underneath you, that agent that's the trainer or the field director actually gets the split compensation from that 40, or the difference between that 40 and 30%. So which would leave a 10% override off all the business that new agent produces, which is pretty cool. So I don't know if that's a little bit too high level on this call or not, because I don't know if we have anyone actually other than Zach and I that are over field director 3, but it's just good to know, guys, how you get paid in this business and how all that works. But if you think about it, when field directors or leaders are out in the field and helping to train other agents, guys, that costs a lot of money and it takes a lot of time, right? I invest about 95% of my time working with newer agents in the field. So when I'm normally on a 50% contract, so I can go out there and sell insurance on my own, and I'm going to make a 50% override off everything I sell. I'm obviously taking a pay cut to invest my time with other agents in the field. So that's why obviously there are overrides in this business, because it just helps that newer agent. It really just, everyone has skin in the game. I think we all know this, but the better our agents do, the better the leaders do, the better the whole organization does. So we all want to help each other, guys, and support each other. But it's just good to know that compensation. And where you see down here, the contract levels 1 through 5, once earned, always earned. The thing to know about leadership is that if you have someone that's on your team, and let's just say you are a field director 3, you're on a 40%, and you bring someone into this business, they start on a 30% contract, then eventually they work their way up because of the work that you invested in them. Well, it's good to also understand, guys, where those overrides come from, or I guess where that bonus comes from. So if that newer agent that's on a 30% contract writes $25,000 in premium, and they go up to a 35%, and the team leader is a field director 3 and they're on a 40%, and their agent goes from a 30 to a 35%, guys, where do you think that 5% comes from? So this is good. So guys, that 5% actually comes from your leader. So the field director 3. So if a new agent goes from a 30 to 35%, that 5% raise actually comes from your higher up, your training manager. And the reason for that, guys, I don't know if anyone was familiar with that or not, but the reason for that is because it keeps us all pushing forward, right? There's a saying in this business that, yes, the contract levels 1 through 5, once earned, always earned. But there's also a saying on the opposite end of that, with anyone that's in leadership, that once caught, always caught. So if you have someone on your team that comes out and just absolutely dominates in this business, and obviously they probably did so based off the results and the effort that you poured into them. But if they come into this business and they catch you within the first couple months of being here, they go from a 30% to a 40%, and that agent that you were training eventually catches up to you, then you no longer get paid off them for the rest of your career. Once caught, always caught. So again, it's the principle behind it, guys. It's the mindset that we always want to be pushing forward. We always want to be striving to do better. So not sure if you guys have any questions about that. I know I was kind of all over the place with this, but again, this is something that ask your team leader for this, who's ever in your organization, and just be familiar with this, guys. Know what it takes to get to the next level. Have these numbers really just as a sight, really just as a focus, what you're actually like striving for, and just know the different shortcuts as well. Training people and what that looks like, the qualifications there. So I'll open it up to questions. I wanted to keep this relatively short, but Zach, let me know if there's anything I left out.
Bryan, I think you hit the nail on the head. I would urge folks, get comfortable looking at your agent report. Comes out every Tuesday morning. For the first couple of years, I did not do it, and I wish I would have. It's kind of hard to plan and goal set if you don't really know what you're aiming for and comparing your numbers to. So if you're in your first month or so, of course, your numbers are going to be smaller, but as time goes, as numbers grow, and it's best not to be reckless with them and just hope all these numbers get bigger, but actually, hey, I'm at, $5,000 of income coming into my account, monthly. Let me set that for 5,500 or 6,000 in the next couple months. So yeah, look at the numbers, get to know them well, and you'll have something to compare it to and measure.
Awesome. And just check out those life insurance numbers, guys. That's huge. I mean, even at the field director 5 level, which I'm striving for market director myself, but I'm on a 50% contract in all my personal business with supplemental. Guys, that's a 100% increase, 100% contract on all life insurance business. I mean, that's huge. They're just giving away money essentially at that point. So those numbers are real. But if that's something that you guys have not considered, I would highly encourage you. Again, not super urgent, because I truly believe that you should really figure out the basics of this business first. But if you've been here for at least a couple months, 2, 3, 4 months, definitely look into getting your life license, guys, because that's another thing as well. But if you train someone, if you hire someone or someone is thrown on your team and they have their life insurance license and you do not, then you don't get paid off that insurance. You don't get paid off that business. So just good to keep in mind. So happy Tuesday, guys. I hope this was helpful. Hope this was insightful. And please just, if you don't have this, guys, you'll want to be familiar with it. Just ask your team leader if you can get a copy of it. So have a good day, guys. Happy Tuesday.
See you, bro.